French media outlet Entreprendre has reported that owner of Africa's largest industrial conglomerate, that is Aliko Dangote, owner of Dangote Plc, is ready to buy a 60% stake of French second division side Valenciennes. And in this episode, we consider the perks of this deal becoming a success, as well as preview games coming up this weekend. My name is Ayomide Sotubo, and this is the Nutmeg on Guardian TV. Joining me for this conversation is Adeyemi Adesanya to talk about the potential acquisition of this French second division side. And he's tried Aliko Dangote in the past to acquire Premier League side Arsenal, but that failed and he couldn't meet that objective. So the question is, how can Aliko Dangote achieve his ambition to own a foreign club, and also how can he emulate Shola Akinlade in trying to own a foreign club with a clear-cut strategy?
Okay, so first and foremost, does not need to emulate anybody. It's a simple case of him putting his money in an interest that he likes, which is football. As you said in the report, he's been linked with the purchase of Arsenal Football Club in the Premier League before, but Arsenal is a much more complex and much more voluminous transaction, if we can look at it from that perspective. Yeah. So Shola Akinlade is not the first Nigerian to be going in this direction. Likewise, Aliko Dangote is not the first. I think what this means is that it's two things, ideally. One is that owning a football club offers a Nigerian businessman, one, a new outlet to put an investment in, to put money in, to invest in, which would mean he will make money, quote unquote, from it and grow his asset base or his portfolio. That's one. Two, it's an opportunity to create a conveyor belt, a potential bridge between Nigeria and the foreign-based clubs.
Interestingly, Valenciennes has never won the Ligue before. They've been champions of the French second division on 2 occasions, but they currently sit 15th on that standings right now. And now the question is, for a club with a basic reputation such as Valenciennes, what are the perks of a Nigerian, the richest man in Africa, by the way, what are the perks of him owning this foreign club?
Well, first and foremost, this can provide the platform for also go ahead and acquire other clubs from other parts of Europe. If you look at the Pozo family, another example, who own Granada, Watford, and Udinese. So this can be the access for Aliko Dangote to own other football clubs as part of his investment portfolio.
All right, let's switch to England now and consider Chelsea, who appear to be in a dicey situation right now since the appointment of Frank Lampard. 5 games played, 1 goal scored, 9 conceded, none won, all lost, and they're not far away from relegation hustlers. They are sitting 11th and have 39 points at this stage of the Premier League. What do you think is the next reasonable option for Chelsea? Do they sack Frank Lampard, follow in the footsteps of Tottenham probably, or do they stick with him? Or how can they get themselves out of the mess that they are in right now?
Well, the solution for Chelsea is that they shouldn't have been here in the first place. And the points haul that Chelsea has today is as a result of the good work that Thomas Tuchel has done. What's the way forward for Chelsea? Well, there's nothing Chelsea can really do. I don't think any right-thinking manager will want to touch that club at the moment. The only thing for Chelsea going forward is for them to find the solution. For the solution, in what sense? You have the tools. Just go back to the basics. No need for any fancy work. Do the basics. Strikers, play a proper striker, play your best in midfield, play your best in defense. No need for any aesthetics. You need to get down and get dirty. Because it's not looking good.
Yeah, really.
Chelsea would have the worst, this is going to be the worst season in Chelsea's history in the Premier League.
There are also some interesting match action across other centers in Europe. And let's start with Roma facing AC Milan. Roma are level on points with Milan, but are fourth, Milan in fifth. And the top four race is more interesting with Juventus getting their 15 points, which was deducted earlier in the season, restored. And that changes the narrative. But then, big game this weekend. And Roma also have to bounce back from a defeat against Atalanta last time out. AC Milan have been rather inconsistent as well.
I think every team in Syria was particularly unhappy with the restoration of that 15 points deducted from the event. For Roma, they found some semblance of form in the last few weeks until that defeat to Atalanta last week. For Milan, they also had also started picking themselves up after a poor run of form plus qualification for the semi-final of the Champions League. So it's a game that is very important for both teams. Like you mentioned, both of them are level of points. Well, I think Milan have been the stronger of both teams in terms of taking on the big teams in and around them. Roma, on the other hand, has really struggled in some of the big games against some of the big boys in Syria, and on the basis of that, Milan will be, for me, the favourites.
And the final match, of course, is in England. Liverpool entertaining Tottenham Hotspur. Liverpool winning already in midweek against West Ham United. And Tottenham Hotspur, they have to win this game. Although that's whatever their top four fate is going to be is dependent on the results against Manchester United on Thursday night. And who do you favour out of both of them to get a victory? Because a victory is paramount now.
At the moment, Liverpool look like the better team. Spurs were torn to shreds by Newcastle in part of the battle for the top four. So now Spurs go up against another direct rival. So at the moment, Liverpool are behind Spurs by 3 points. Depending on what happens in the Spurs game against Manchester United on Thursday night, a lot will depend on that and what the difference themselves and Liverpool look like. But I think Liverpool look like the most settled and solid side. We don't know which Spurs we are going to get under Ryan Mason because of the changes that we made over the last week. But if it asks me, I think Liverpool look like the more favored side, more settled side, and I'll be sticking my neck out for Liverpool on this one.
Okay, thank you very much for being part of this conversation.
Bye. Thank you.
On this edition of the Nutmeg, Adeyemi Adesanya. What you've been waiting for, Guardian picks, and let's start in the Netherlands. It's the Dutch Cup final between Ajax and PSV Eindhoven. Ajax are record winners of this competition, and I favor them to win again in this particular game. And then there is Arsenal versus Chelsea in England, London to be precise. Arsenal needing to return back to winning ways. Chelsea are in woeful form, but I've gone for an over 1.5 goals to be scored in this game. And then in Germany, there is Bayern versus Hertha Berlin, and I favor them to score goals. And then Liverpool versus Tottenham is pretty much the same. Both sides needing points and goals in the race for the top four in England's top flight, and I've gone for a goal-goal situation there as well. And to wrap things up, it's Napoli versus Salernitana. I've gone for Napoli getting a straight win in that particular encounter. This is the Guardian Picks. And that's how we bring this edition of the Nutmeg to an end. Thank you very much for always staying tuned and watching every of our episodes. You can join the community if you are new to this channel. You can hit the subscribe button by doing that, and also get our latest videos by tapping the notification bell as well. My name is Ayomide Sotubo, and this is the Nutmeg. See you next time.